to Marion, Virginia, and Tazewell, Virginia, here in the Tri-Cities, which is where Billy Wagner is from. And Wagner, again, he's staying on the ballot, but the former Astros relief pitcher still struggling to really get any momentum and all that. I guess Kurt Schilling won about 50% in the vote. You need 75. We've talked about that. Schilling's 3.52 ERA lifetime is going to be holding him back, but I know he talks about his conservative politics. That might have a chance. I mean, he might. I'm not going to deny that. However, I think that the 3.52 ERA is holding him back a little bit more than the conservative politics. Then again, Jack Morris is enshrined in a second chance, this year. So, and Morris had a higher ERA than 3.52. Anyway, where I'm going with this is Billy Wagner, and he just gave me some stats, and he said, in fact, I saw Ken West, our friend from Politically Incorrect Baseball Fans on Facebook. If you're of the mindset, I encourage you to join Politically Incorrect Baseball Fans on Facebook. I love that page. It's kind of modest, but we've had him on the air a couple of times. I think he's great. Anyway, Ken West told me, and he said, Billy Wagner, his stats, Billy Wagner, he said if he was going to have a guy close out a ball game, he'd take Wagner over Hoffman. And Trevor Hoffman, of course, making the Hall of Fame yesterday as well, about 79% of the vote. But Hoffman's 601 saves, all-time leader, so, he's got that. And I think that he ought to make it because of the 601 saves. But Josh Brown has just sent me a message. He said, save percentage for Billy Wagner. Higher, in other words, he would save higher percentage than Eckersley, Gossage, Suter, and Wilhelm. What do you think about that? Okay. Story came out yesterday that the Tennessee Volunteers had an investigation, and it found 2 Tennessee athletic employees took golf trips and entertainment from vendors in an audit. This took place in 2014 and 2016, including a pair of trips to see the Masters. Not supposed to do that. Tennessee Comptroller Justin P. Wilson said in a news release the investigation started after the university's audit brought the possible discrepancies to the state's attention. So, let's see here. At least twice in 2016, Director of Sports Service Management accepted paid golf trips and related entertainment from a department vendor. That person is Darren Seibold, according to the university's, the athletic department staff directory. And it says that he made $73,000 last year. He also went to a golf tournament in Illinois. So, I don't know. Yasser Zatini may have friends. Something you ought to know. This is going to be Marky's monologue right now. We're going to close out, so to begin the show. Thinking of, because, so many people get in their car noon and all this, of having a more faster pace opening to Tri-City Sports Now. Anyway, we're going to do this. But I am going to tell you that I'm happy with the Baseball Hall of Fame class of 2018. Because 2 players I didn't really think that were worth it didn't get in. They were Mike Mussina and Edgar Martinez. I know I'm old-fashioned, but I don't think DHs should go in. Nothing personal against Edgar Martinez. I just wouldn't vote for him because he's a DH. And I just think that a Hall of Famer should have played in the field. Throw him at first base or something. Mussina did win 270 games. That's his standard, but I think the New York bias of Hall of Fame voting is keeping his candidacy so prominent due to the fact that the rest of his stats aren't very good. They're not 270, but, he's winning 5-4 games. I'm okay with Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Sammy Sosa, and the like not getting in, because cheating is cheating. Perhaps Mike Piazza, maybe he did use PEDs, maybe he didn't, but the arguments against Piazza are not as strong as they are against, say, Sosa or McGuire. There are others. I just mentioned Billy Wagner. I like Omar Vizquel. I like his defense, and 2,700 hits, I think that's big. Fred McGriff. You hit 500 home runs, you're supposed to get in. He hit 493. Isn't that close enough? Vladimir Guerrero was a complete player who made it. He was often kept in the shadows because he played much of his career for the Montreal Expos. I'm wondering if he'll go in with the Expos hat or the Angels. Last hurrah for the Montreal Expos. I guess if Bartolo Colon doesn't come back, he was the last Montreal Expo. But it does. I wonder if that might actually create some momentum to return an expansion franchise in Montreal. I really wonder that. I like Trevor Hoffman because I'm a big AC/DC fan. But 601 saves, all-time leader in saves belongs. Okay? By the way, there were relief pitcher songs, entrance songs before Trevor Hoffman, but nobody made it his own. And although that's not a stat, that is part of baseball. Hell's bells, going in with ACD. It's the cachet. Just like I said, Larry Jones, maybe he isn't quite as popular. Chipper Jones, well, now there's a ball player. Same thing here with Hell's Bells coming in and all this. The real enthusiastic, intimidating music and all that. Just, added to Trevor Hoffman. Chipper Jones is probably going to be the last player who plays his entire career with the Braves. Derek Jeter played his entire career with the Yankees. I could see maybe Yankees or Dodgers playing their entire career with one team. Other than that, I think, the way baseball is now, that's not going to happen. And that's going to kill the sport until they can do something that allows a ball player to be identified with a franchise. And I really think that's important. Once had the opportunity to interview Chipper Jones, doing a story on Bobby Cox for Baseball Digest. And I was a fan of his because his boyhood idol, Willie Stargell, was his minor league hitting coach. And he told me that Stargell, and he just came out of him that once in the middle of the interview, man, I love that man. That was the Stargell, character that I talk about so much on here. But a little known fact is that Stargell gave him this advice that against a fastball pitcher, use an ounce heavier bat instead of an ounce lighter. That way you won't speed up your swing to hit the fastball. Stargell learned that from Roberto Clemente. And he passed it on to Chipper Jones. And now all three are in the Hall of Fame. Pretty decent, huh? Jim Thome made it 612 home runs. Automatic pick. But I think as much for his character as those 612 home runs, he deserves in. Once while writing a story on former Appalachian League baseball players in Sports Talk, I was in the Cleveland Indians locker room. Tells you how long ago this was. Jared Wright had just been hit hard in that night's game, and his career with the franchise was at an end. And in the locker room, without going into a lot of detail, he took it out on me. Thome saw that. And later on was as receptive and as welcoming to me about his memories of playing for the Burlington Indians as could be expected. An act of kindness that has never been forgotten. Jim Thome, congratulations on a Hall of Fame. Hey, I'm Marky Billson. We got our phone lines working at the end of the show. What do you think about that? Paul Kleinum Schultz, new general manager of the Greenville Reds. Want to thank him for appearing on the show. Comes from the ticket office of the New Orleans AAA team called the Baby Cakes. That's a professional guy. I like that. Less mom and pop for the Appalachian League. Also, thanks to Josh Brown talking about Chipper Jones in the Hall of Fame. I'll see you tomorrow at noon with a bunch of surprises. Colin Coward is next on 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities. I'm Marky Billson. So long, everyone.